Serious. What is the scariest thing you've seen in a dream? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I've had this reoccurring dream for years, and I've never been able to find the meaning behind it, and I've never, ever been able to remember the whole dream. It started when I was around 12. I'm on the couch watching TV and my father is showering. Well, after a while of watching TV, I see the living room slowly filling up with water. I jumped up from the couch and ran to the stairs to see the water trickling down, and for some reason I can't go upstairs. Calling my dad didn't give me an answer. I ran out of the house with the house key to the house of my best friend who lived a few houses down. When I rang the bell and opened the door, it wasn't my friend's mom or my friend, but my uncle. While crying, I told him what was happening. At that point, he picked me up and laughed in my face, spit coming out of his mouth and landing on my face. I remember the exact words he always says after, "Good, poor little you." I managed going back to my house after I wrestled myself loose from my uncle, and what I saw through the glass of my front door was the house filled with water, but the water was red. And I wake up every time at that same moment when my dad's body floats up to the glass and presses against it with his throat slit. My infant child in danger and me not being there to help, more like a recurring nightmare. It was a while ago, but I had a dream I was in a place kind of like the Grand Canyon. A man shot me in the head and I fell back from a cliff. At that point, I was watching myself from above, seeing my lifeless body fall. As soon as I watched myself hit the ground, I woke up suddenly in a cold sweat with a terrible migraine. I'm assuming I had the dream because of said migraine, but it was one of the most vivid dreams I've ever had. I once had a dream where there were sirens going off and there was a nuke coming, and I woke right when it hit. My heart was pumping so fast, I literally thought I was going to die. Or, when I was a kid, a guy with a chainsaw chased after me. Dreamt someone tried to kidnap me and almost rape me in a bathroom. It never got that far because I escaped, but I somehow knew the implication. I went on a hike in the woods and accidentally left my dog there, and then he sat and howled until he starved to death and died. Oof. A few come to mind. 1. When I was 6 to 8, I had a dream where a giant alien spaceship crash-landed in the field behind my house. I went into the wreckage and found out they had a lot of my family and other people kept in cages. Doesn't sound like much, but scared the crap out of little kid me to the point where I can still see pictures, scenes from that dream almost 30 years later. 2. I've had semi-reoccurring dreams like 3 or 4 about these nasty-looking 8-inch long bees. They would bury themselves in the ground with their stinger sticking out, and I would always walk outside in my bare feet and step on one. Worst part is, I could feel its body as I pulled it out of my foot. 3. In one dream, I was stabbed in the side and died. I could feel my body getting weak, and then I collapsed and everything went black. The dream continued, and my family was crying and talking about what happened, but I couldn't really see anything, just hear them. Eventually, I woke up and checked the bed for blood. There obviously was none. Once I had a dream where I visit my old elementary school. Then, when I went to the school's bathroom urinal, there is a large window and I can see houses, trees, buildings, but suddenly there's a nuke dropped like miles away. I can see the sky turns red and the mushroom clouds slowly rising. I quickly zipped up my pants and run as quickly as I can with a lot of my friends screaming. Last night, I had the same dream being in that place again, but this time there's a shooting, not nuke. Had a dream where my sister's heirloom nurse Barbie got out of the dollhouse and started climbing up the air vent in the room. She sounded like a demon from The Exorcist and was screaming obscenities and about how she was going to kill this bitch. And then it looked back at me and started yowling like a reanimated zombie cat once it noticed I was awake and looking at it. New bed sheets out of it though, and got the creepy doll setup out of my room because of it, so yay. Demons before I tear them apart because they are trespassing on my private property. Other than that, I have empty dead dreams in the big city with no imagination or empty dark houses in the middle of the night where the demons love to jump scare me. To be honest, I don't back down. I am not about to let some demon ruin my sleep or disturb my dream about living in a garden or eating tacos with chill ghost. I had this one dream as a kid, and our backyard had a lazy river. The next door neighbor kid wanted to use our lazy river. I told her no. I'm walking up the stairs, and she bursts through the door and jumps like some superhuman to the second floor. I'm running as fast as I can and get to my bedroom. She pins me to my bed and grabs my balls so hard I woke up in pain. Still scares me to think of dreaming about her. Yeah. I get some awful dreams. I'll post a few. I was walking to the North Pole, and it was really bad snowstorm. I stopped at the shack I found, and some guy showed me a map to show me a shortcut to the North Pole. All of a sudden, the scene changed, and I was in this square dungeon room. There was a pillar in the middle of the room surrounded by deep water, and a skinny walkway thing wrapping around the edges of the room. There was a skull-shaped board on the wall with a bunch of holes in it, and there were pieces of the skull with pegs to fit in the holes. All the pieces were hanging from chains attached to the wall. These two girls solved the puzzle and put all the pieces in the right spot of the skull, and suddenly I got transported underwater. While I was underwater, I was looking up at this little boy that was holding onto a rope and hanging over the water. He said to the two girls, "I don't want to be introduced to the darkness." The two girls said it would be okay and laughed. He fell into the water and I floated up to meet him. Right when I floated up, something grabbed our feet and pulled us down just enough so that just our face was above the water. Then a bunch of hands grabbed our faces and pulled us under. The floor underwater was beating like it had a heart, and then I woke up. When the dream started, I'm in this metal hallway that's dimly lit by these hospital lights, but it's still really dark. The hallway branches off into other hallways and goes on forever. All the hallways are lined with beds on either side, and they all have people sleeping in them. The head of the bed is touching the wall, and the foot of the bed sticks out in the middle of the hallway. In the dream, I know that I have to find the one empty bed that's mine to sleep in. So, I'm wandering around this maze, and this thing keeps happening really fast. Someone will be sleeping in their bed, and the side of the mattress raises up, and this ugly monster arm comes out from under the mattress and grabs the person and yanks them under the mattress and then slams the mattress shut. It happens over and over, and the dream goes on for what feels like hours. Eventually, I find my bed and lay down. I lay down for a few minutes, and the arm thing happens to someone 2 beds over from my right-hand side. I get up to try and stop it, and once I get to their bed, my body freezes and goes pins and needles, and I can't move or breathe. The difference here is that when the arm pulls the person under the mattress, the person gets caught on something, and the arm is like frantically yanking on the person and slamming the mattress shut over and over and brutally killing the person, and I'm just frozen, watching. I've had this dream twice, and both times it was a night terror. I'm trying to move my body in the dream, and it turns into me kicking and screaming in my sleep. The first time I had it too, someone was laying on my arm. When I was frozen, I was completely in the dream visually, but I could feel my arm stuck under something in real life. It was really scary. Long story short, early COVID stage anxiety gave me a nightmare about reanimated corpses. Gases build up in bodies that died of COVID, and somehow these gases also stimulate muscle tissue. The corpse can walk around or do whatever randomly, involuntarily. It can't see, it's not aware, it's just a moving corpse. They have to be buried deep and quickly or they might get out. Also, the COVID corpses smell worse than regular corpses, so if you smell something bad, a walking corpse is nearby. My dream ended with me walking down the street at night. A corpse was walking on the opposite side, opposite direction. I knew it couldn't or shouldn't be aware of me. It took off at a sprint, chasing after me. Had a dream when I was 12 that was indistinguishable from reality. In the dream, my grandpa had installed a security camera in our basement. When I watched the security footage the next day, I saw this stereotypical devil come out of our laundry room, red with wings, horns, hooves, and a pointy tail. I was already terrified of our basement, and it's safe to say that I didn't go down there for a long while after my dream. Always having dreams where I would see someone, maybe mine, legs poke out from under a rug. Anytime I could actually talk in a dream and question someone, never got a reply, or they just shrug, then I would wake up. Once, saw a weird lady sitting on a bed float up into the ceiling that looked like the Ring Ghost but purple. Would be in my bed, looking around my room to have a figure staring at me, expecting me to look at it. Once had a super vivid dream of being in a weird, distorted city with this unbearable dread. When hungover a while back, I would be in a very modern-looking building, wandering around with a very strong dread. Someone was watching me while I was walking around the bit. Then, later on, I spent just staring at a box full of filters for earphones while hearing rock tunes repeat. Then, for no reason, I looked to the left to see a 50-year-old man in a purple dress. His skin was kinda purple, looking confused at why I was looking at him. Nearly shit myself, since it was the same outfit my OC wore.